Okay, we're live. It is the Remodeler Show with yours truly, Kyle Hunt. And it is Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. It's officially fall. I think we're either 99 or 100 days away from the end of the year. Two interesting notes. The year's been crazy. If you haven't kind of regrouped, maybe just set kind of the rest of the year goals. Just went through with a client earlier this week, and we're looking at their overall business budget, making some adjustments, factoring in the COVID factor for them. It's a good time to try to carve out some time to plan, make an updated plan. How can you finish the year strong? So keep that in mind as we move towards the last part of the year. A quick note before we get into today's topic. By the way, I'm a little fired up and ready to roll today. Fired up in a good way, not in like a, uh-oh, what's going on? I'm just more fired up like, ooh, we got some good stuff to cover that I think is going to be helpful to you, which is the whole point of this show. Just a little note on certain days of the week. I'm not doing the Remodelers Show, and we're updating that in the Remodelers Community private Facebook group. Go to remodelerscommunity.com if you're not part of that. But this last couple of weeks, we've been doing the course for September on staying in touch with previous clients. We've completed 3 of the 4 classes that are part of that, and it's going well. We're getting a plan together. There's some implementation on the horizon there. But I just wanted to note, if you want to get involved in the October, November, and December courses that I have coming up, you can get details on it at remodelersmasterclass.com. There's not going to be as sweet of a deal as those who signed up for all 4 courses in the fall, but there is still your ability to sign up for 1, 2, or 3 of the other ones. So reach out to me, private message me, email me, reach out if you're interested in that, and I'll be putting some stuff out there in the next couple days about it as well. All right, we're going to get the chime working because the chime is going to kind of move us from one part to the next today. Are y'all out there? Jim's there. Jim's pumped up. Kyle said he's got some fire today. What's going on? Let me know you're out there, please. A little like would be nice. Maybe a little comment. Let me know how you're doing. Here's what we're going to get into today. This was a post by your friend and mine, Sean Patrick Rice. I've never talked to Sean, actually, but he's my friend. He's part of Remodelers community group. And he posted this very real, honest, good question and topic for the group recently. And it had 40 plus comments. And I went through and just pulled some of that out. It's just got some themes that all of you need to hear and be reminded of. So let me read his topic, and then we're going to go one by one through to some of them. Sean said this: so sometimes larger numbers freak me out. I mean, I know this is what it is going to cost to do this job: materials, labor, a little profit, but I'm still finding myself wanting to make these numbers smaller and smaller. Let me pause there. Why do you think he's wanting to do that? Because it's easier to put a proposal in front of somebody for $19,000 instead of $23,000. It's just easier. It's easier to swallow, right? So he's finding himself wanting to do that, even though he knows it's that $23,000 all day. He posted a quick little screenshot of the project he's talking about. Any suggestions on how to keep myself from shrinking the numbers? And he already knows this, shrinking the profitability. Like I said, I know these are my numbers. Does he? We're going to get into that a little bit. They may even be a little light. But I need to get over the mental/emotional barrier I'm having with these numbers. Some self-diagnosis going on in this question too. So it's an excellent question, Sean. I'm so glad you posted it. And I know based on all of the comments that you've received that it's been helpful. And I wanted to just take the Remodeler Show today to just get into some of that. Okay. I'm still finding myself wanting to make these numbers smaller. I've kind of updated the slides here. All right. So good, honest question. It's a real question. If you guys know me, I love real. None of this fake stuff. None of this. Let me pretend that I've got it all figured out. No, I'm just going to tell it how it is. I'm going to be real with you. And hopefully in the show, hopefully in the Remodelers community, hopefully in just the way that you engage with me, that you feel comfortable to just be real and be honest. People are willing to help. So we're going to start with some advice on this from Darius and Mike. Darius said, he was the first one to comment, and he just came out with a right hook. Do you like working for nothing? Triple Question mark. Do not lower the price. Stay true to yourself. Something else will come up if these folks won't pay your price. So Darius is just kind of punching between the teeth and going, look, do you like working for nothing? All right. So that got things started. That's just a good thought, right? Even though you want to make these smaller and eat into your profits, do you really like, I know you don't like presenting that to them. I know you don't like the look in their eyes when they come back to you and they're frustrated. I know you don't like the look to respond to the fact that they say, that seems high. That's not fun. But Darius is kind of reminding us, do you like working for nothing? Because that's not fun either. Let's move on to Mike. Mike also had some feedback. Mike said, chant, it costs what it costs 10 times while breathing deep. I don't know if it costs what it costs. I don't know how to do it exactly. Maybe Mike could make a video of this to explain it, but I think I was close there. I get his point though. Chant, it costs what it costs 10 times while breathing deep. Make sure the way you are doing your estimates is consistent and fair to you, to the people working on the project, and to the client. If you have a consistent process and are tracking the actual numbers against estimated numbers, pausing for dramatic effect. Let me read that again, actually. If you have a consistent process and are tracking the actual numbers against estimated numbers, and you're using the results to tighten up your estimating process, you can let go of the estimate total head trash. Big takeaway here, and several people touched on it, and I want to hit on it. If you have a consistent process and are tracking the actual numbers against estimated numbers. Sean in the question was saying, I know this is what it's going to cost. He also went on to say, I know these are my numbers. They might even be a little light. What Mike's getting at, what several people have gotten at, what I'm going to keep bringing up during this time, that part of actual numbers against estimated numbers. And Paul hits on it really clearly in one of his comments, but I'll pull it up here. If you're not being very clear, you've estimated it's going to take a certain amount of time, a certain number of hours. You've estimated 100 hours on this project. You've put that estimate together based on your experience, based on this project, based on your estimating software or spreadsheet or process. If you're not actually being diligent to check the actual at the end of your projects, you'll be left feeling much more, ugh, am I right? Am I wrong? Man, it seems like I should have more money in the bank. You'll be left with all these ambiguous, is that the word? Ambiguous? I think that's how you pronounce it. All of these question marks in your head. I can't emphasize enough. When you are looking at the actual versus estimated, Mike says it, you're going to tighten up your estimating process. And it's going to help you be more confident. That word confident, so much of what's going in here, into this topic, into this conversation, even in the feedback you guys are giving in the comments and what I'm emphasizing, comes down to confidence. And if your numbers are fuzzy, if you don't know what you need to be charging, if you don't know if your actual was your estimated, your confidence is going to suffer there. And you're going to be squishy is the word I'm thinking of. You're going to be kind of squishy with how you feel about this. Let's keep going because there's more, much more. Thoughts from Andrew, Sean, and Julie. Let me pause. I got some comments going too. How many letter F's in the word discount? How many letter F's are in the word discount? I think a lot. That's right. There is no F in discount. Okay. I think I know what's going on there. How many F's are in the word discount? Okay. Help me understand that, I think. How about developing a price cost book of what you charge for certain tasks, services you perform, and remove subjectivity from your estimating? We're going to touch on that little subjectivity. All right, good. If you go to StreamYard.com, to my friends who are commenting, but I don't know who you are, I could look, but I'm just still trying to manage all this. If you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, you can find out how to just approve it so that I can see your pretty face. Okay. Andrew, Sean, and Julie. Andrew said, I tell my wife and she straightens me out. That's how he answered this question. How do I prevent from shrinking these numbers down? She would like our bills paid for some reason. Interesting. Sean said, oddly, he commented on Andrew's comment, oddly, I tell my wife and she always says that I'm charging too much, then complains when I don't make enough. Now I wrote on here, careful, Kyle. Careful, Kyle. I wrote there. I'm a part-time marriage counselor, have a lot of husband-wife remodeling teams, right? So I don't want to poke and prod into that, but it's interesting how, Sean said that, my wife is always saying I'm charging too much. You need to listen to your wife. Our wives are, just talking to the guys out there, our wives are very wise. Oftentimes when I'm in a dilemma or I reflect back on something, I should have listened to my wife. She's got a lot of wisdom. If your wife is telling you you're charging too much, maybe we need to turn that volume down a little bit, because you need to hear much louder. You need to charge what you need to charge to be profitable. Honey, I might be charging too much. You know what actually the problem is? I need to improve how I'm selling so that I can sell more value, so that I can be more confident, so that I can explain my points of difference and why we're worth every single penny. And also I know that I need to charge what I need to charge, if not more, because I need to bring this project in profitably so that we can build up our nest egg, so that we can live a good life, so that this business is strong. That needs to be way more clear in our mind to get rid of that other head trash. Careful, Kyle. Andrew said, she's tired of doing 6-figure projects for clients and struggling to pay her own bills. It's taken quite a few years and she's more cold-blooded than I am now. Okay. And then Julie chimed in, not cold-blooded. Your wife knows what you're worth. There's some truth. Okay. This is good stuff. So much of it, so much of what you're charging is clarity on your numbers, clarity on what you need to charge, There's a lot that goes into that, your experience and also your job costing. But bigger on this is also your confidence. Confidence. It's interesting. I'm going to keep reading here, but after Sean starts reading this, wait till you hear what he says. And thirdly, what I hit on there when I was ranting is we need to sell. You need to sell your points of difference, why you're worth every penny. This job's going to be clean. This job's going to be on time. We charge what we charge. It's more than other people. And frankly, that's what we need to have a wonderful crew that shows up on time and does excellent work. That's what I need to be profitable. By the way, at the end of the day, I'm hoping to, bring in a 6 or 8% net profit at the end of the day after all my work. It's reasonable. To discuss and to talk to them about what value can you talk about that's actually valuable to the customer, on budget, on time. We're going to do what we say we're going to do. We're going to show up when we say we're going to make sure this project's beautiful for you. Sell more than being on your heels and apologizing for your price. There's a lot that goes into that, but confidence. Okay. Next one. Next one. Lisa started spitting some truth. This is related to confidence and learning to sell. My husband and I operate our business together. He has the exact same problem. My only solution was to not allow him to finalize any estimates anymore or present them until he got more comfortable owning our value. I have absolutely no qualms whatsoever about presenting the cost and ensuring that I have a healthy profit margin. Why? Because we work our faces off. You guys put so much time and energy into the business, and when it needs to be profitable. I remind him all the time that every time that he is not pricing the job the way we need to, that he is literally taking money from our business and our family. That's truth. Do not doubt your worth. Do not doubt your skill. Do not give your profit away. You deserve to be well compensated for the incredible work you do. Told you, Lisa spitting truth. Feedback loop, estimate, job cost, actual versus estimated, adjust estimated, and repeat. Builds confidence. Absolutely. Okay. I've got more truth spitting. This slide says Justin spitting truth. Justin's up next. Justin said to Sean, do you have kids? Do you want them to eat? To be able to go to college? Do you have a retirement account set up? How's your retirement account? Don't steal from your family. Charge what you need to charge. There's no point in working for free. It actually contributes to deflated cost expectations in our industry. Determine what it costs and stick to your guns. There we go back to determining what it costs, understanding your numbers, understanding the estimated versus actual. It is so much easier for you to sell at that number when you know and can be confident that that is not what I think I need to charge. I know that's what I need to charge in order to continue to fund my business and grow my business and pay for all my expenses and have a 8% net profit and live a good, have a good wage. Okay. And what I wrote next to Justin's thing was just, but how? Right? Okay, yes, I need to do that. And again, it goes back to you need to continue to become a better salesperson. You need to become a better person at explaining this is how we work. You need to think through what makes us different. What is the value that our clients get from us? And you need to make sure those messages are heard consistently and consistently and consistently in your marketing efforts. On the first phone call with a prospect, on their first in-person meeting, talk about job site cleanliness, talk about timeliness, talk about the amount of work that you put in to the project up front so it stays on budget and on time. Talk about your team. Talk about the people on your team and how I pay my team well, but it allows for this experience to be wonderful for you. Talk about your years of experience and your know-how. There's so many things that you need to sell and get. That's how. How do you end up selling what you need to sell? That's how. Okay. Another advantage of developing and working from a price/cost book of what you charge is algorithms outperform human judgment. Gerald, I don't know how many books you've read, but you've read way more books than me. My man, you can quote books like no other. Thinking Fast and Slow from Daniel Kahneman. I think I nailed that, Kahneman. What he's getting at there is algorithms, a process, a spreadsheet, a software that calculates the numbers for you, outperforms human judgment. I would also just add to that, it takes some of the emotion out of it. Sean's initial question is very emotional driven. How do I stop thinking I need to shrink it? It looks so big to me. I need to get over the mental, emotional barrier. He said it. I'm having with these numbers. Good. Sick 'em, Lisa. Yeah, that's good. All right, we got to keep going because there's more. Sean, this was several hours after people started commenting. Buddy, do this. Hang in there. Be confident. Know your worth. Thanks for the encouragement, folks. I've already gone through and increased my numbers to make sure I have healthy profits. Why did he change it? Why did he go from, help me, I'm struggling? So much of it is confidence. So much of it is reminders of what he's worth. It's an intangible, right? It's hard to put a finger on that. But I have seen it in my coaching. I've seen it as my remodelers continue to mature, my clients continue to mature and grow as business owners. Confidence is such a critical part of the overall recipe of building a successful remodeling business. Confidence comes from knowing your numbers inside and out. Confidence comes from job costing. Confidence comes from being able to sell your value. Customers can smell that. Are you on your heels? Are you apologizing for your price? Are you trying to explain it away? Are you caving on your price? Are you getting emotional and looking at that number and going, I just need to get that down another $2,500. I don't want to put that number in front of them. Or is what's coming through loud and clear to you is, I am worth every penny of that. That's a steal. It's a steal for what they're getting. Confidence. You think pro athletes who have had a couple bad games, you think some of these all-stars in any sport that's had a few bad games are sitting there going, oh, they're going to say no again. They're going to say no again. No, they build themselves back up. They realize, look at all these times I've sold. Why do we focus on the people that say no and not the 10 people that said yes in the last 2 months? We get stuck on the no, right? Versus realizing, oh, this person said yes to it. This person said confidence. It's such a critical ingredient. Be confident. Listen to some pump you up music before you go out there. Yes, take the emotion out of it. It's funny that I'm talking about taking the emotion out of it while being very emotional. Okay, let's keep going. David chimed in. I would never pay this much for a project. He says, when we were very new in business, I used to have mental hangups such as, I would never pay this for this project, or nobody would pay this much for this. This usually led to dropping the price. I later realized that it's not me that had to afford it, just our clients. And that maybe some or most people wouldn't pay that for a project, but it all comes down to that one person to pay for it now. The trick is also pre-qualifying. He's got just a lot of wisdom in here. I also think really understanding, here's David coming back to it. I also think really understanding and knowing your cost of operating our cost of operating has led me to be confident too. David's realizing this is how I used to be. I got rid of that head trash that says, you know, $1,000 to me is different than $1,000 to somebody else. $10,000 to you is different than $10,000 to somebody else. Your clients might be making $279,000 this year being that executive for that lovely company. You might be making $100,000. The way that he looks at a $150,000 project is different. And so we need to somehow get our own emotion and our own thoughts out of our head and realize, you know what? The price is what the price is. Again, sell it, and also try to understand that the way that they're viewing it is going to be different than you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? But go in there and give yourself the best at bat and to sell and to build up the value. That's some good insight from David. James kind of commented right underneath there of kind of ditto, and he was also spitting some more facts. I was going to say the exact same thing, David. It took me years to realize that money means something different to my clients than it does me. Once I understood that these people saw value in me and weren't concerned with how much I was charging, suddenly I realized that I could charge more and give them an even better product. You know, to really give your clients a remarkable experience, you got to charge well for it so that you have really good, solid team around you, tools around you, systems, software, all of that. You got to charge well for that. Or you hustle your stinking face off and play superhero every day to make it all amazing and not charge a lot. That leads to burnout and not a lot of food left for you at the end of the day. Food equals money. Understood? Every day you're either working or watching the work that gets done. Remember how much effort you're putting into this project and to make it all perfect. All the time you've spent planning to make sure everything's right. Do this every single day. Soon you will realize your worth and it will become easier to charge the proper amount. I'm hearing confidence. I'm hearing know your numbers. I'm hearing how do we sell? It's the community response that pulls us up, gets stronger with the team. I like it. Greg Mayo came in. Sell, educate. Keep in mind. I'm going to move on to the next part. I kind of have to hit the old chime. Keep in mind and let them know. So let me pause actually. We're 23 minutes into a 30-minute show. I feel like there's some really good reminders here. I feel like this is a really good topic to wrestle with and to think about. What's a takeaway you have? What's something that, you know, when you hit on that one, that convicted me a little bit. That's one that's just a gap in my process. That's a gap in how I'm approaching things. What's something that maybe you're going to work on? I'd love to hear it in the comments. Whether you're watching this live, I see all you. We're in double digits watching live. By the way, you people watching live, can you just click the like button? Let's just experiment here. There's currently 11 of you watching live, it says, plus maybe others on YouTube or LinkedIn. Can you give me a like? Can you click a like? If you like it, more people will see it. Okay. Nobody so far. I wonder if people will click it. All right. A couple more to kind of round this out and build this up. Greg said, keep in mind and let them know that due to COVID, material prices have gone significantly up, sometimes doubling or tripling pre-COVID prices. That way it can be presented that it is not you who's expensive. Anywhere they're going to go is expensive. That's another selling point, right? That should be coming out of our mouths. Things are more expensive right now. When you're talking about the project and talking about their investment in it, it was definitely a talking point. Oh, 2 of you liked it. I see you, Andrea. I see you, Gerald. Thank you. Paul, this is one I wanted to hit on that kind of hammers home some truth. Are you job costing at the end of each project? Do that and you'll get real clear on why you have to stick to your numbers. Simple statement, truth. And it ties back in with a bunch of stuff that we've already talked about here. Michael said this, I can relate to the feeling. My brain is still stuck in numbers from 1995 sometimes. Better to trust the numbers are right And when you do your postmortem, when you do your job costing at the end of the project, when you find the time, make the time, take the time to look at your estimated versus actual, I've said it 17 times already in 26 minutes. And when you do your postmortem, he went on to say, if you find you're overpriced, go ahead and write the client back a refund. They'll love you forever, right? I emphasized again, the numbers, do your postmortem. Okay. Another one here. Look at that on the screen. That on the screen says more girth. I don't know why that word came to me when I was reading this, but Michael went on to add a suggestion. Break that big number into a lot of little numbers. 220 sheets of half-inch GYP, 180 sheets of 5/8-inch GYP, 50-pound screws, 75-gallon mud, 650 of paper tape, 440 of metal corner, 32 sheets of ram board, 4 100-foot rolls of poly, 3 zipper doors, etc. When you start to break it out there and add more girth and detail to your proposal and your estimate, and they start to see that, when you give them a little more take in that, they can see all the parts and pieces that go into something that feels quite simple to them. And then they start seeing how much girth and how much work is involved in that. That's some other good insight into this topic. More girth. I haven't used the word girth in a sentence. I don't know if I've ever used it before. I don't know why it came into my mind when I read that, but maybe it's going to be a thing that I'm going to hear all the time, and maybe I'll just work it into conversations I have all the time. Maybe I see one of my buddies and I'm like, you look less girthy. Huh? You looks like you lost some weight. Or I can go up. Yeah, anyways, we'll see. Okay. So what do we learn here, folks? We got a couple minutes left. Dan commented, his was the last comment on this thread. By the way, thank you. It wasn't the last comment, but it was close. Thank you for being a group of remodelers who are selfless. You're actually, the comments in our remodelers community, if you're not part of it, if you're listening to this podcast, go to remodelerscommunity.com. They're just really helpful, and they're real, and they're honest, and they're not judgy, and it's just real and helpful. And I just appreciate each one of you for doing that and offering this. This is just one example of threads and conversations that are happening inside that remodelers community. And what excites me the most is that, one, it's a community that really truly feels like a community, and two, it's really helping people. Like halfway through this, it gave Sean confidence and clarity. You guys will hopefully hear some things in here that's going to cause you to take some action and to do some things, which I love. Chris just shared, I'm in the business to make money. Yeah, they were kind of making, okay. And then Dan said this, keep an image of your client pulling food out of your family's mouths in your head. What's that for a word picture? Keep an image of your client pulling food out of your family's mouths in your head. And let me know if you're still emotional about what you're charging. Okay. Good. So I feel like I recapped several times as we went. But again, I love this topic. Thank you, Sean, for posting it. Thank you for engaging in it. Thank everybody for commenting in it. I'm just going to leave that line that says more girth up there because it's funny. And I would just summarize it, confidence. How do you build your confidence? When you are confident in your business, and in times that you are confident, reflect on that, think about that, step back from it. Why am I confident? Right? Look and understand not just your estimated, understand your stinking estimated, actually. How much gross profit dollars are you actually expecting to make on the project that you're starting next week? Tell me in dollars. That $72,000 project, tell me exactly how many gross profit dollars you're expecting. Tell me exactly. Well, Kyle, you don't understand. I do it by the square foot. Blah, blah, blah. No, exactly how many labor hours that you're going to self-perform on that project. What does your actual bid say? Get very clear with those two things. It's not hard. That part's not hard at all. Get in there, understand it, have a number. Now, the actual at the end sometimes can be a little bit more of a pain. Work on your job costing system. Make sure that when you're putting information, invoices, paychecks into QuickBooks or whatever program you're using, that everything's tagged to that job. That's step number one. I see that missing a lot. Fix that up. Start understanding. Don't give me this, Sorry, tough love. I love you guys, but I'm tough love. Stop giving me this crap about, well, I don't know how to pull up the report in QuickBooks. Learn. It's crazy important. It stems all throughout your business, how you estimate, how you sell, your confidence level, your ability to put food on the table and be profitable, all hinges on this stuff. Get in there and know how to do a job cost report. If you got to write it by hand, I don't care. Just get it done. Show me what you were expecting to make. Show me what you were actually making. Well, Kyle, they don't fill out their timesheets well enough. Then fix it. Sorry. I'm being very aggressive here. I am spitting truth now. Where's my, there it is.
Shock jock. Dropping truth.
Dropping truth. More girth in this, right? Get into it. I yell and I passionately talk about that, and I use voices like that because I just want to get your attention. Okay, so go back and listen to this again. Dig into it. Know your numbers. Fine. Make the time. Stop watching a Netflix show for an hour tonight and get into QuickBooks. I know you're tired, but we've got to fix some things to improve some things. All right. Amen, Brother Kyle. All right. I will be back for the Remodeler show next week. I think it's like a Monday, might be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday ordeal next week. Bailey just texted me and said, please stop using the word girth. Girth. Oh, no. That was a mistake that my employee Bailey just made. Fired up, love the emotion intensity. Yeah. The fact that Bailey told me to stop using it, oh, you bet there's going to be probably 4 emails between now and the end of the day that I'll somehow work that in. Love y'all. Keep working hard. Talk to you later.